Bhagavate Vasudevāya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevāya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevāya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudirayet. Nashtaprayeshva Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavatyuttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadara Sri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadara Sri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Granth-raj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Samaveta Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Om Ajnana-timirandhasya Jnananjana Salakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. Sri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupaha Kada Mahyam Dadati Swapadantikam. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. I welcome you to today's Srimad Bhagavatam and Srimad Bhagavad Gita session. Today is July 31st, 2026, and we are in the 549th session. And we're reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 10, Chapter 10, the deliverance of the Yamala-arjuna trees. And we have to begin with text 36 today. But let me give a quick recap of what we read yesterday. So this section is the prayers offered by NALAKUVARA and MANIGRIVA to Lord Damodar after they were delivered from their tree bodies. So they were praying to the Lord in this way that so we saw that in text 32, So yesterday we covered text 33, 34, and 35. Let me share the screen with you. 1 second. So the prayer started with 29 and they said that you are Mahayogi, you are the original personality, you are the cause of both the manifest and unmanifest that means whatever is manifested before my eyes, our eyes, and that which is not manifested, you are the cause in this universe. And only those who know the Vedas, they can actually understand you. Then text 31 and 32 said that you are everything, basically. You are the body, you are the controller, the master of the senses, you are time, you are Lord Vishnu, the inexhaustible controller, you are Prakriti, you are the modes, you are the Purusho Adhyakshaha, Sarva Kshetra Vikaravit. You are the knower of all transformations. About Adhyaksha, it is said, Purusho Adhyakshaha. I forget. I'll go back and check. Adhyaksh means Antaryami. You are the super soul. That's why Adhyaksha is. So because you're Adhyaksha, you are the super soul. So you know what is going on in everyone's mind and you know what Sarva Kshetra Vikaravit. You are the knower of all the vikaras, transformations that are happening in all the bodies. Whatever is happening, you are the knower. Like that it was said. So when that was said, what did the Lord say? So if I am everything, then whatever you see, it is me, isn't it? So by seeing anything, you'll get knowledge about me. Then everyone should be knowers of the absolute truth. So in answer to that, it was said that in the form of these senses, these bodies, and all these objects, you are seen. That means you are the seer and you are the seen. Okay? How you are seen in this world? In the form of these objects. These are drishya and drashta. So in the form of the things which are made of Prakriti, like whatever objects that are made here, these things are visible too, because these are material. So these things are visible to the material eyes. However, as the seer, you are not visible to the material eyes. So then, even though you are not visible, by your mercy, you make yourself visible. Because now Nalakuvara and Manigriva are seeing the Lord. How they are seeing the Lord? Because out of his mercy, the Lord is making himself visible. That's why they're able to see. That's why Grihyamanai is said in this verse. Right? Grihyamanai means we are able to see because of your mercy. Because you are drashta, you are the seer. Then the objects which are seen by material senses, which are perceived by material senses, mind and intelligence, or the material mind and intelligence which can only perceive the things in this world, cannot perceive you. So you remember, the point is that all these things came after creation. The things that are visible in this world, they also came after creation. Our senses also came after creation. So senses can see that which came after creation. But senses cannot see that which is there before creation. These senses also came after creation. These objects that the senses are able to perceive, they also came after creation. But you are there before creation. So these senses which are made of Prakriti, they cannot see that which existed before creation. Then if somebody says that, okay, these material objects are, the senses can perceive material objects, but the living entity is not created after creation. The living entity is Sanatan. Living entity is eternally existing, isn't it? The senses came after creation, but Jivatma is eternal. Jivatma is not created. It is eternally existing. So Jivatma should be able to see the Lord. So then, Kon Viha is said. Kon Viha means the living entity who, under the influence of, first of all, covered by avidya, and then under the influence of ahankara, is considering himself this body and the things related to this body, people related to this body to be his own, and he's attached in this way. So in this material, the conditioned soul in material existence, who is attached to the body, attached to his home, such a person, even if the Lord is present in front of his eyes, still he will not be able to recognize the Lord. He won't be able to see the Lord or know the Lord. It's not possible for him. Yes, as the living entity has the potential. Yes, has the potential. When the living entity is given with the Bhakti Shakti, then he can actually realize the Lord, absolute truth. So the living entity has that potential. However, when that living entity is covered by the component of Maya called avidya, and then covered by ahankar, false ego, and under the influence of that false ego, who is always absorbed in the thought that I am this body, this is my home, such a person, even if the Lord Swayam Prakash Bhagwan, Krishna of Goloka, even if he came in front of his eyes, still he will not be able to know him. Of course, this living entity is your Tatastha Shakti. It's your energy. Like the external energy is also your energy. Internal energy is also your energy. Like that, these living entities that are Sanatan, eternal, they're also your Tatastha Shakti. Still, but they cannot know you when they are absorbed in this body. And of course, you are the cause of these living entities also. Just like you are there before creation. So you are the cause of this material creation. Because you were there before this and you are there after. And in between also you are holding up everything, isn't it? So you are the cause of this material creation. And you're also the cause of the living entities because they are your marginal energy, your tatastha shakti. So all that is explained with the word kon viha. Then guna samvritaha means you are covered by your own qualities. Huh? Guna samvritaha means you are covered by your own gunas. That means you are transcendental to these gunas, to these modes. Modes are from Prakriti, material energy. Isn't it? Prakriti means it's made of these three modes. So they are saying you are guna samvritaha means you are covered. You are covered means he is not covered. Our vision, the living entity who is now in ignorance, in avidya, covered by avidya and then ahankar. Such living entity's vision is covered. He is not able to see the Lord. So, how it is covered? By the Lord's Maya Guna, these material modes. So, the Lord is covered for the conditioned soul. That means those who are covered by material modes cannot see the Lord. What does that mean? That means he is transcendental to the modes. Those who have transcended the modes can see him. And how one can transcend the modes? Only by bhakti. Okay. Then coming to, this was discussed in the class before yesterday's. Then this is yesterday's class. I'm just going over the verses, the prayers. So we will, recollect the flow. So then yesterday's verse is Tasmai tubhyam bhagavate vāsudevāya vedhase atmadyota gunaischanna mahimne brahmane namaḥ. So then here, one second. Huh? After this it is said, that means NALAKUVARA MANIGRIVA are saying, therefore, so now what is the point that you are not visible? No, but people cannot know you. Why you are not visible? Durgyaya is said, right? You cannot be known. You cannot be known. That's why we are offering obeisances unto you. That was the first statement. Here it is said that tasmai matlab therefore. आपको मतलब तस्मै what is Srila Prabhupada saying? O Lord, whose glories are covered by your own energy. So that was said in the previous verse, that the Lord's glories are covered. Guna is channa, right? Covered by his own qualities, by his own qualities. His glories are covered. By his own quality means by his own energy. By his own energy, his qualities are covered to the conditioned soul. The conditioned soul is not able to see the Lord. Even if the Lord is present in front of his eyes, he cannot recognize, he cannot know the Lord. So, one second. Tasmai means because you are not to be understood from the material platform. No, Tasmai means unto him. Unto him. Okay? Unto whom? He who cannot be known. He who cannot be known. Text 32 again. Grihyamanaistvam agrahyo. Agrahyo, you cannot be, right? Grasped, you cannot be. You means Krishna's qualities, his name, his pastimes, his form cannot be grasped. Kon viharhati vigyatum prak siddham guna samvritaha. So, कौन जान सकता है आपको? That's कौन विहा मतलब कौन जान सकता है आपको? जो इस देह और गृह में आसक्त है, जो इस शरीर में घर में आसक्त है, ऐसा व्यक्ति भगवान सामने आने के बाद भी भगवान को कैसे जान पाएगा? माने वो जान नहीं पाएगा। और तो जरा देखिए, और भगवान भी गुण समृतः, प्राकृत माया गुणों से आच्छादित, प्राकृत माया गुणों से ढके हुए हैं। मतलब गुणातीत है। जो लोग गुणों से प्रभावित है, वो भगवान को नहीं देख सकते। भगवान उन गुणों से ढके हुए हैं उन लोगों के लिए। Just like there is sun in the sky and you say the clouds are covering the sun. Actually, the clouds are not covering the sun. They're covering my vision. But we say it is cloudy, therefore the sun is not visible today. That means the clouds are covering the sun. Like that you should understand here. The way the sun is covered by clouds, we say, in that way, it is said that the Lord is covered by his modes. To who? To the person who is always absorbed in this body and home, thinking that I am this body and this is my home, and he's attached to these things. To such a person, even if the Lord is present in front of his eyes, he cannot see him. And the Lord also is covered by his modes, so he is not visible. He cannot be known. He's covered by his modes means what? That means anyone who's in modes cannot know him. He is beyond the modes. Then how one can know him? One can only know him by bhakti. So that brings us to this next verse, text 33, which is saying, Tasmai tubhyam bhagavate vāsudevāya vedhase आत्मद्योत गुणैश्चन्न महिम्ने ब्रह्मणे नमः। यहाँ पे क्या बोल रहे हैं कि भगवान आप दुर्ज्ञेय हैं, माने आपको कोई जान नहीं सकता। Nobody can know you. Because nobody can know you, therefore we are simply offering you pranams. In the previous verse, it is said you cannot be known. You are covered by your own modes. So you cannot be known. And you can only be known by bhakti. So now they are saying, because you cannot be known, then what is the point in trying to know you? Isn't it? Just like Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur said that don't try to see Krishna, serve Krishna in such a way that he will want to see you. So when Krishna wants to see you, that means when you catch Krishna's attention, then he will reveal himself. If he is pleased with you, then he will reveal himself. When he reveals himself, then you will see him. But otherwise, if you try to see him, what can you see? He is beyond the modes, and your eyes are made with these material modes. Anything which is made of material modes, how it will see that which is transcendental? We don't have the capacity. The only capacity we have by the mercy of devotees is to render some devotional service. That's all. By doing that devotional service, if Krishna is pleased, that means by your devotional service, you can attract Krishna's attention. Then by that attention, when he is attracted to you, when you catch his attention, when he is pleased, then he will reveal himself. Then you can see him. So, ये लोग क्या बोल रहे हैं अभी? NALAKUVARA and MANIGRIVA said, so these are still the verses that we already covered yesterday. So I'm just, because yesterday I think we did not cover the commentary. I just read Srila Prabhupada's purport. So today I thought I'll just, so the advantage of doing the commentary is you can see the connection between verses. That's all. So not that's all, but it's a richer experience or, understanding. You get a, you see the connection between verses. That's what it is. So with the commentary, what happens is how one verse is leading to the next, to the next, to the next. So it's like a story. It flows like that. So that's why I'm going over the commentary of the past 3 verses that we discussed yesterday. So they're saying that because you cannot be known, that was established in the previous verse that he cannot be known. Therefore, we are simply offering you our obeisances. You get the point now? Because we cannot, with our senses, we cannot see you, we cannot know you. These eyes, ears, nose, they're called knowledge acquiring senses. You get knowledge through these senses. But with these senses which are material, we cannot grasp the transcendental Lord's form, his, his words, his names, his qualities. We cannot grasp with these material senses. So he is not knowable to us. So what should we do? Render devotional service. So Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, Pada Sevanam, Vandanam, offering obeisances. So they're saying, so we are just offering obeisances unto you. Okay? Okay. Let's look at the verse again. So, Tasmai Tubhyam Bhagavate Vasudevāya Vedase Atmadhyota Gunaischanna Mahimne Brahmane Namaha Namaha. We are offering obeisances unto you. तो बोल रहे हैं कि वेद से means वेद से माने विश्व विधाता, the Lord of the whole universe. And because you are not noble, because you are durgyeya, or in other words, what is the cause for your being durgyeya? Mane, what is the cause for your being unknowable? Atma-dyota gunaihi. Atma-dyota. Atma means self. Dyota means the effulgence. Prakash. Atma-dyota gunaihi. That means by the qualities or gunas or modes which are coming from you, you are covered to the conditioned soul. The way the sun is covered by clouds, that way you are covered by your material modes. That is the cause for your being unknowable to the conditioned souls. Why you are not knowable to the conditioned souls? Because you are covered by the 3 modes. So when you say he's covered by the 3 modes, it's not that the modes are covering him. To the vision of the conditioned soul, the Lord is covered. How? The way the sun is covered by clouds. To our vision, the sun is invisible now because he's covered by clouds. Really, the clouds are covering our eyes, not the sun. Okay. Then also we did 34 and 35 yesterday. Let's look at those verses. That was the last we read yesterday. Yasyavatara gyayante sharireshva sharirinaha Taistair atulyati shayair atulya atishayair viryaihi dehishu asangataihi. Sa bhavan sarva lokasya bhavaya vibhavaya cha avatirnomsha bhagena sampratam patir ashisham. What does that mean? So, if Krishna is saying, because what are they saying? That you are the supreme. We are offering obeisances to you. Earlier they said you are everything, isn't it? You are everything, but you're not known, you're not seen, you're not noble. So now Krishna is saying, if I am Parameshwara, how do you know that? Isn't it? तुमको कैसे पता? अभी तो बोले कि मैं दुर्ज्ञेय हूं, कोई मुझे जान ही नहीं सकता, तो तुम लोग कैसे जान लिए कि मैं परमेश्वर हूं? ऐसे पूछ रहे हैं भगवान. So if I am actually Parameshwar, how do you know? How do you know that I am Parameshwar? So in answer to that, this verse is said, these two, 34 and 35 are said, that they're saying that Kurma, Matsya and other forms that you have manifested, and in those forms, the extraordinary, transcendental activities that you have performed, which are not possible for those who have accepted material bodies. Even though the Lord has accepted forms like a tortoise, a fish, a hog, still in these forms, his activities were extraordinary, transcendental, which are impossible for ordinary fish, tortoise, or hog. That means they are not possible for anyone with a body, a material body. It's impossible. Such incomparable, wonderful activities were performed by you. By seeing this, people can understand. That means by seeing that, simply by seeing those wonderful activities which are extraordinary, people come to know that all these are your avatars. By seeing the wonderful, extraordinary activities of these various forms of Varahadev, Vamandev, especially Varahadev and Kurmadev, Matsyadev are mentioned, because they appear like animal forms, isn't it, of this world, but actually they are not of this world. They're transcendental forms of the Lord. By seeing your wonderful activities in these forms, people come to know. That means we came to know, because the Lord asked, how do you know that I am Parameshwar? So they said that people can understand that you only are manifesting in these forms. Certainly, you are the source. Avatari, you understand avatari? Avatar means those who are descending. Avatari means the original source, from whom all other avatars are descending. That is avatari. Krishna is avatari. All other Vishnu Tattva forms are avataras. So by seeing the wonderful, extraordinary activities performed by these so-called Why so called? Because we also discussed that from Srila Prabhupada's purport, that people with poor fund of knowledge, non-devotees, who are envious of the Supreme Lord, they consider the Lord's transcendental form, the Matsya Bhagwan, Kurma Bhagwan, Varaha Bhagwan, the Lord's form is transcendental and his activities are extraordinary, but they think that they are ordinary material forms, or they are kalpita, imaginary forms, mythology, like that, they think. That is why here it is said that, so that's the difference between devotee and non-devotee. That was the conclusion. That is the difference. Because a devotee has no problem accepting that they're able to see. The point is they're able to see. They're able to understand. They have no problem accepting it. That the Lord's activities are different. They're transcendental. They're extraordinary. Therefore, even if he comes in the form of fish, still he is not an ordinary fish. He is transcendental. So, here NALAKUVARA and MANIGRIVA are saying, you are the avatari, the original source of all these avatars. Why? We have proof of that also. Why we are saying that you are the original source of all those wonderful activities? Because your activities are no less wonderful. You see, Arjuna trees are extremely deep-rooted and very difficult to uproot. And imagine how old they are. 36,000 years old. Earth years. 36,000 earth years old trees. You know, right? Trees, the older they get, the deeper their roots go. And the trunk also gets bigger and bigger and bigger. So it's becoming stronger and stronger. And even in general, just these Arjuna trees are very, very difficult to uproot. They are very strong trees. So NALAKUVARA and MANIGRIVA are saying, certainly you are only the source of all those avatars which are doing wonderful activities, extraordinary activities. Why? Even thousands of elephants joined together, coming together and pulling these trees to uproot them, they would not be able to uproot these Arjuna trees. They are so strongly rooted in the ground. Thousands of elephants, imagine. Thousands of elephants coming together and pulling on these trees would not be able to uproot these Arjuna trees. So, why they're called Arjuna trees? Because they were effulgent and powerful in the sense they're so strong, like Arjuna, Krishna's friend Arjuna. So, such Arjuna trees, so we too were in Arjuna tree bodies and we were so powerful like Arjuna. And you, just like a childhood play, right? Small baby. How old was Krishna? 3 years old. 3 years old. And a 3-year-old toddler's play, like that, child play. And in play, very easily, you uprooted both the trees, which cannot be uprooted by thousands of elephants pulling together. But as a small baby and as part of your play pastime, you just uprooted both of us at a time. We can understand that you are the very source, the avatari of all those avatars who are doing extraordinary activities. Not only that, in order to uproot, you have also empowered that grinding motor and that rope which was tied to the Lord. Imagine, even the rope has to withstand that. Let's say if you have to pull down a big, huge skyscraper building, if you went with your rope which you use to tie cows, would you be able to do that? Krishna is tied with, it is said that he was tied with Yashoda Mai's ribbon, hair ribbon. I read that actually here because, yes, of course, she was bringing so many ropes finally. And then in the end, when Krishna allowed himself to be tied, just that ribbon was sufficient. He got tied by that. Anyway, even if you want to say, no, the rope with which they churn butter, that rope was used, fine, still, that rope is not sufficient to uproot Arjuna trees. Yet Krishna, with that rope which was tied around his belly, he just pulled on it, and these two big Arjuna trees got uprooted. That means they are saying, NALAKUVARA and MANIGRIVA are saying, that you have invested your potency, your extraordinary potency, even in the rope and in that grinding motor. Imagine the grinding motor is on the other side, and when the Lord pulled, nothing happened to the grinding motor. The trees got pulled up, and the grinding motor is strong on the other side of the trees, and the rope is also strong. Everything is intact. The grinding motor is fine, the rope is fine, but the trees got uprooted, Arjuna trees. So that's why they are saying, with this we can understand, certainly you are the avatari of those avatars who perform extraordinary activities. What was Krishna's question? If it is true that I'm Parameshwara, as you're saying, then how do you know that that I am Parameshwar? I mean, by what symptoms, by what characteristics, by what qualities are you saying that I am Parameshwar? I'm just a small cowherd boy. How are you saying that I'm Parameshwar? Right? So then they are saying, you are the source of all those avatars who performed. What were the activities, by the way, of Varahadev? He lifted the earth from the depths of the Garbhodaka ocean and brought it out. What were the activities of Matsya Bhagwan? Matsya Bhagwan, during the time of Pralaya, annihilation, he just carried all the Vedas. Everything else was inundated in the waters of Pralaya. Just look at the magnitude of their activities. And Kurmadev is holding the entire, actually on top of Kurmadev is Anantasesh. On Anantasesh is Garbhodakashaya Vishnu. And from Garbhodakashaya Vishnu's navel came this, the lotus stem. And in the lotus stem is the entire universe. So Kurma Bhagwan is holding up everything. And here NALAKUVARA Manigriva are saying, you are the source of all those avatars who perform extraordinary activities. What is the proof? So they are saying that we were as effulgent as Arjun, and it is not, that means in these Arjuna tree forms. That's why we are called Arjuna trees. We were called, because now they are out of those tree forms. And you have it's not possible even for thousands of elephants to uproot these trees, but you have very easily, like a child's play, uprooted us. and using, it appeared like just a small child, the way the child pulls with that much strength. It's not that you became big and all of a sudden and you just, no, Krishna looked the same, like a small boy, small baby. And like how a small child pulls, he pulled. But these two Arjuna trees got uprooted and the rope is intact and that grinding motor is also intact. That means you have invested such extraordinary potency, power in them also. That's why, that's how we know that you are Parameshwara. Further, they are saying, Bhavaya and Vibhavaya. Bhavaya means you are the giver of Bhava. Bhavaya. Bhavaya means whatever wealth or results, material results, that one gets in this material existence. You are the giver of that. Sampada, especially giving them whatever wealth, opulence that one gets in this world. How he is getting? It's coming from the Lord. Vibhavaya means liberation from this material existence. You are the giver. So whatever happiness we are getting in this world in the form of wealth, etc., how it is coming? You are the giver of that, my Lord. And also breaking the cycle of birth and death. You are the one who gives liberation. Then Amsha Bhagena means what? Amsha means we know. So Krishna's Amsha avatar, Garbhodakshaya Vishnu. And who is the Amsha of Garbhodakshaya Vishnu? Lord Brahma. Yes? And then from Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva, or from Garbhodakshaya Vishnu, let's say Lord Shiva. Either way. That means Amsha Bhagena means Amsh ke Amsh. आपके अंश के अंश ब्रह्मा एंड शिवा आदि द्वारा आप सबकी कामनाओं को पूर्ण करने वाले हैं. That means indirectly you're fulfilling everyone's desires through the expansion of your expansions. But now you are manifest in front of me in your complete form. That much is there in text 36. So now we will read today's verse, text. Text 34, 35. So now 36, today's verse. Namaḥ parama-kalyāṇa, namaḥ parama-maṅgala, vāsudevāya śāntāya. Am I sharing the screen? I'm not. 1 second. So this is text 36. Namaḥ parama-kalyāṇa, namaḥ parama-maṅgala, vāsudevāya śāntāya, yadūnāṁ pataye namaḥ. Simple. Namaḥ parama-kalyāṇa, parama-kalyāṇa, supreme auspiciousness. Namaḥ, my obeisance, our obeisances unto you. Namaḥ parama-maṅgala. Mangala is also actually, I guess, the giver of all auspiciousness. Parama-maṅgala. Vasudevāya, śāntāya. Vasudevāya means Lord Vasudeva. Śāntāya means the most peaceful form. Yadūnāṁ pataye namaḥ. That means the master of the Yadus. Unto you we offer our obeisances. Okay. O supremely auspicious. So namaḥ parama-kalyāṇa means supremely auspicious. We offer our respectful obeisances unto you, who are the supreme good, parama-maṅgala. O most famous descendant and controller of the Yadu dynasty, O son of Vasudeva, because Vasudeva is said, O most peaceful, śāntāya. Let us offer our obeisances unto your lotus feet. Purport. The word parama-kalyāṇa is significant because Krishna in any of his incarnations appears in order to protect the sadhus. Paritranaya sadhunam. Okay? So parama-kalyāṇa. So yada paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya cha dushkritam dharma samsthapanarthaya sambhavami yuge yuge. That is Bhagavad Gita shloka. So mainly there it is said, the Lord actually comes for sadhus only, because Krishna has nothing to do with material creation, annihilation, maintenance. This is not, he doesn't have to do anything with that. Then you may say, but Lord Brahma, Lord Vishnu, Lord Shiva, these three are guna avatars. Lord Vishnu is actually maintaining the universe, and for maintenance, so many avatars are coming. How you're saying that the Lord has nothing to do with the maintenance? He's not doing it directly. He is doing it through the mode of goodness. How the Lord is maintaining? He is maintaining through the mode of goodness. It's not, maintenance is not in his swarupa. You understand swarupa? So there is internal energy, external energy, and marginal energy. So the living entities are marginal energy. Swarupa means his internal energy. That is Krishna's swarupa. His form is made of his swarupa. His activities are his swarupa pastimes. His qualities, his names. This is all swarupa within the swarupa. It's made of swarupa shakti. His devotees, his abode. All this is in swarupa shakti. That means it is his internal energy. Whereas this material creation is from the external energy. The Lord glanced on the external energy, sent time into it. And then there's creation. Of course, he also impregnated Prakriti with all the souls, conditioned souls. Karano Daksha Vishnu. And then there's creation. So this creation is from the external energy. It is not the Lord's Swarupa. This is not. So that's why there is, if you have heard before, Tatastha Lakshana and Swarupa Lakshana. Swarupa Lakshana means the characteristics which are inherent. Tatastha means they are not inbuilt, they are external to him. That's why when you say external energy, it is external to him. Then he is maintaining this material world. How he is doing that? That is not his swarupa. Maintaining this material world is not his swarupa. He is doing it with the help of the mode of goodness. So you have material, like Lord Brahma is doing it with the mode of passion, creation. Shivaji is doing with the mode of ignorance, he is annihilating. Lord Vishnu is maintaining with the mode of goodness. Still, all three of them are doing with the three modes, but there is a difference between Lord Vishnu and Brahma and Shiva. How? Once Amal Sundari Mataji had said, you remember what is the relationship with Maya? So all three, goodness, passion, ignorance, they're all Maya only, external energy only, Prakriti. And Lord Brahma, Lord Vishnu, Lord Shiva, all three of them are using this external energy for creation, maintenance, and annihilation. Still, Lord Vishnu is different from Lord Shiva and Lord Brahma in terms of his function with this material world. Okay, I'll just say because time is running out. Samipya Sambandha and Sayoga Sambandha. Sayoga Sambandha means Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva have Sayoga Sambandha with Maya. They touch Maya. They are influenced by Maya. So Lord Brahma, his body is actually made of the mode of passion. He's accepting the mode of passion. Similarly, Lord Shiva is accepting the mode of ignorance. So it's not just Sayo, it is not just in proximity. They are actually touching the material energy. And that's how they're doing their particular function of Lord Shiva doing annihilation, Lord Brahma doing creation. How about Lord Vishnu? Samipya Sambandha. He doesn't touch. He doesn't touch. He's doing maintenance using this mode of goodness, but he doesn't touch it. Without touching, he does maintenance. That's why his relationship with Maya is Samipya. Samipya. Even when he comes through Kshirodakshaya Vishnu, so many avatars are coming. Yuga avatars, Manvantara avatars, Shakti-avesh avatars. So many avatars are coming. These avatars are not touching the external energy. Even when they come here, they don't touch. That's the difference. So why we were discussing that? In the purport, Srila Prabhupada is saying that the word parama-kalyāṇa is significant because Krishna in any of his incarnations appears in order to protect sadhus, paritranaya sadhunam. So then why the Lord comes, you may say, he's coming. So for maintenance when he is coming, that's different. That's not part of his Swarupa. But what is the Lord's Swarupa? What is in his Swarupa? His Swarupa is, he's only moved. He's only touched by bhakti. That is his Swarupa. Nothing else. Material suffering, material enjoyment, this doesn't touch him. Just because someone is suffering in this material world, therefore the Lord is coming to protect. It's not like that. When you hear the verse, paritranaya SADHUNAM, he's coming to protect. Hey, what is he coming to protect? He's coming for sadhu. Not that he's suffering, therefore he's coming. No. What is touching him is the bhakti. That sadhu means what? Sadhu is doing bhakti. He gets attracted to that bhakti. Like bees get attracted to honey in the flowers, nectar in the flowers. Bees get attracted to nectar in the flowers. So these devotees' hearts are like flowers, lotuses. And the Lord is getting attracted to the nectar there. What is that? Bhakti. He's coming for that bhakti. So whoever has bhakti in their heart, the Lord gets attracted to that bhakti. Regardless of whether you're suffering or you're enjoying in this material world, it doesn't matter. Actually, when you say devotion, it has to be pure devotion. Yes? So, a pure devotee, he does not suffer materially, nor does he enjoy materially. He has nothing to do with this material world. He may be here in this world, but like a lotus leaf. Even though in water, it is never touched by water. So a pure devotee, even though in this material world, is not affected by material suffering or material enjoyment. So there's no point of the Lord's coming to relieve the material suffering of his devotee. There's no point. He's not coming to relieve the suffering. He doesn't leave the devotee. He is with the devotee all the time because the devotee has bhakti. He's just going after that bhakti. So, paritranaya sadhunam. Why is the Lord coming then? You're talking about the Lord, Bhagavan. What is he attracted to when he comes here? He comes only for his devotees, not for anything else. Paritranaya sadhunam, to deliver the devotees. Then what is he delivering them from? If they don't have any material suffering, what is he delivering them from? They are feeling extreme separation from the Lord. They want to see the Lord. They want to experience the Lord, like personally, face to face. Not just that they have a desire. They are on the verge of, like they cannot bear that separation anymore. That is their suffering. Not being able to meet the Lord, not being able to see the Lord, that is their suffering. To save them from that suffering, he's coming to show them, here I am, be pleased. For that he's coming. So what is the relief that he's giving to the devotees? Their suffering is their separation from the Lord. And the Lord is coming and showing himself to them. And it is for this reason he comes For this reason only he comes. Actually he's coming only for devotees. Then what about vinashaya cha dushkritam dharma samsthapanarthaya? Those are secondary activities. He doesn't come for that. But while he's here, those things happen automatically. I told this example in the past also. When, let's say, the Prime Minister is coming to a particular village and he's coming to inaugurate a hospital. So he will come there for how long? Maybe 10 minutes, 15 minutes to just open that hospital, cut the ribbon, and then he'll go away, isn't it? Now that's the main activity for which he's coming. He's coming to cut the ribbon and open that hospital. Now, because the Prime Minister is coming, what is happening? Automatically, all the roads are nicely made and, all the houses are painted nicely and everything else is. So now he is not coming to clean up the village. That's not his purpose. His purpose is to come and open the hospital. However, while he is there, automatically the whole village gets cleaned up, chakachak ho jata hai na? Like that, the main purpose of the Lord's coming is paritranaya sadhunam. But while he's coming for that, when he is here, automatically vinashaya cha dushkritam also happens and dharma samsthapanarthaya also happens. But those two are also very nicely explained by Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. विनाशाय च दुष्कृतम के लिए भी भगवान को आने की जरूरत है क्या? उनको मारने के लिए नहीं. ऐसे इद्दी पिद्दी demons के लिए भगवान नहीं आते हैं. It's an insult. Why he has to come? Just material energy is sufficient to kill these demons. But there are those demons like Hiranyakashipu, Hiranyaksha. Who are they in reality? They are also devotees only, isn't it? And why they are here like demons? To satisfy the Lord's appetite for fighting. That means they want him to taste that virya rasa. Like a kshatriya, when he fights, he enjoys virya rasa. They want Krishna to enjoy that virya rasa. For that sake, they have come like this. They have become demons. Because no one else can put up a proper fight to the Lord to give him that pleasure. They won't be able to stand in front of the Lord even for a moment. They'll be finished. Even the biggest demons in this material world. So the Lord's personal associate from Vaikuntha, they come in the form of his opponent to stand against him in battle, so that when the Lord fights, they can actually put up a good fight and the Lord can enjoy that Virya Rasa. For that they're coming. So for such special demons, he comes. Vinashaya. Unka विनाश करने के लिए आते हैं. Otherwise, बाकी सब के लिए तो Prakriti is sufficient. He doesn't need to come for them. He doesn't need to come. One tornado is sufficient. One hurricane is sufficient. Earthquake, finished. Then why he comes? He comes for these demons. And by the way, how powerful are these demons? Can you imagine? Jai Vijay, they are Vaikuntha Vasis. Who can defeat them? Who can kill them? Only the Lord himself has to come. Otherwise, nobody else can defeat them. That's why he comes personally. That is Vinashaya cha dushkritam. He is coming. And dharma samsthapanarthaya. What dharma he wants to establish? Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra dharma. No. He is coming to establish Jivera Swarupa Hoy, Krishnera Nitya Das. That is the dharma. What is our dharma? Our dharma is we are eternal servants of the Supreme Lord. To remind this, to establish this dharma, he comes. Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya dharma, that can be given in Dharma Shastras. Manu will do that. And there are so many kings who come from time to time, right? They do it. They enforce laws and all that. He has to come to establish that dharma. He comes to establish bhakti. So that's the point. So this is explained by Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur in Bhagavad Gita on that verse. Yada yada hidanai paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya cha dushkritam dharma samsthapanarthaya sambhavam. It is explained there. Anyway, let's read this purport and then we'll also read Bhagavad Gita. So the word parama-kalyāṇa is significant because Krishna in any of his incarnations appears in order to protect the sadhus. Paritranaya sadhunam. That's why it's called parama-kalyāṇa. parama-kalyāṇa, supremely auspicious, is coming for the devotees. The sadhus, saintly persons or devotees, are always harassed by non-devotees, and Krishna appears in his incarnations to give them relief. This is his first concern. If we study the history of Krishna's life, we shall find that for most of his life, he predominantly engaged in killing demons, one after another. So, Srila Prabhupada is explaining parama-kalyāṇa, supremely auspicious, how he is always protecting the devotees who are harassed by non-devotees. But what I am trying to tell you is, he's coming for the devotees. That is the highlight there. He's not coming because of the suffering. He's coming for devotees. If you are able to catch that point. Because it is bhakti which touches the Lord. When Hiranyakashipu was harassing Prahlad Maharaj, why he came? He came for Prahlad Maharaj. Why? Prahlad Maharaj is his devotee. That's why he came. He comes for the devotee. That's his first concern. And then while he's here, yes, he kills the demons also. If we study the history of Krishna's life, we shall find that for most of his life, he predominantly engaged in killing demons one after another. Yes. So these are the prayers by NALAKUVARA and MANIGRIVA. So they said parama-kalyāṇa, namaḥ parama-kalyāṇa, namaḥ parama-maṅgala, vāsudevāya śāntāya, yadūnāṁ pataye namaḥ. Next verse is also like that. Okay, we can read this tomorrow. But yeah, we are coming to the conclusion now. Yeah, so 43 verses are there. And that, after this chapter, this section is complete. Damodar Leela ended. And will end. So they will go back. NALAKUVARA and MANIGRIVA will go back, and this will end here. So let's read Bhagavad Gita now. So tomorrow we'll read text 37. So we were reading yesterday from the 15th chapter, text 10. Today we'll read text 11. You remember what we read yesterday in text 10? That at the time of giving up this body and how one is living in this, how one is leaving this body, how one is living. So leaving and living. How one is leaving this body and how one is living in this body and how one is enjoying while in this body under the influence because of the modes of material nature. Vimudha nanu pashyanti. Vimudha cannot see that he's leaving this body. That means he doesn't see that he's a spirit soul. He doesn't see that. Then who sees? Pashyanti yad jnana chakshushaha. One who has jnana chakshu, he can see. So what did we understand yesterday? That Vimudha is thinking that this body is all in all. This is my first and last body, and this is an eternal body. With that, understanding, he is inspired to work and whatever else he's doing, that's his understanding. I'm going to live in this body forever. So if you look at his activities, you will see he will work. There is no exit clause or exit plan. Okay, I'm here, in this body for this much time, and then I have to leave. That plan will not be there. In a Vimudha's case, he will not have that plan, when to leave. And just like if you have to vacate an apartment, they will give you, right? You have to hand over the key on this date. How will you work? You will start packing everything, right? By that day, the house should be cleaned and everything, and you should be ready to give. So you will be preparing for that weeks before, maybe even months before, isn't it? But for this body, no plan. But actually, if you see Vedic lifestyle, there is a clear plan. First 25 years, brahmacharya. Next 25 years, grihastha. After that, 25 years, vanaprastha, and then sannyas. Where is that planning? 50 years are over. Still we are in grihastha ashram only. Not only are we in grihastha ashram, still we are expanding, expanding, expanding. No exit plan. But does that mean that we'll be allowed to live here forever? We won't be allowed to live here forever. We will be kicked out. It's just like when the date comes, whether you're ready or not ready, you have to hand over the key, and then you have to pay fine also if you have not cleared everything. So that is why we have to live our life, and we have debts, we have debts to the family, debts to the demigods, debt to the all other living entities. So we should live our life very carefully according to the injunctions given in Shastras. And we have to live also in a very gracious way. Not that we create a mess here and then we are not prepared and, anyway. So that's the position of Vimudha. Vimudha means there's no plan because he's thinking, I'm going to stay here forever. I'll be here forever. There's no preparation. But one who has Jnana Chakshu, he can see. He can see that, oh, I'm leaving this body, or I am living in this body. That means I'm not this body. I'm not this body. I'm living in this body. And whatever I am accepting, right? Sense objects that are accepting, these are accepted by the senses, but I'm not this body. Under the influence of the modes, right? Only the senses are coming in contact with the sense objects. I'm different from this. Who will see this? Pashyanti yat jnana chakshushaha. One who has jnana chakshu can see this. That was yesterday's verse. Now text 11 is today's verse. This verse is saying, yatanto yoginaschainam pasyantyatmanyavastitam yatantopyakritatmano nainam pashyantya chetasaha. Yatanto yoginaschainam. Yatantaha means endeavoring. Yoginaha. Yoginaha means the transcendentalists. Cha enam pashyanti atmani avastitam. So pashyanti means they can see. The transcendentalists, they can see atmani avastitam. That means yatantaha api akrita atmanaha means those who are without self-realization. First two lines are about the transcendentalist. Next two lines are of one who is not a transcendentalist, right? Na enam pashyanti achetasaha. Why he is not able to see? Achetasaha means undeveloped minds. Let's see the translation. The endeavoring transcendentalists who are situated in self-realization can see all this clearly. All this means how I am leaving this body, how I am living in this body, how I am enjoying while in this body because of the three modes. Who's able to see this? An endeavoring transcendentalist situated in self-realization can see all this clearly. But those whose minds are not developed, achetasaha, those whose minds are not developed and who are not situated in self-realization, akritatmano, not situated in self-realization, cannot see what is taking place, though they may try. That's why yatantaha is said, endeavoring. That means even if they endeavor, they cannot know. One who is not self-realized and whose minds are not developed. Why they are not developed? Because they are not practicing. Simple. What is said here? Endeavoring transcendentalists. Acha, yatanta is for the transcendentalists. Endeavoring transcendentalists. Right? Endeavoring transcendentalists. And by endeavoring, you are situated in self-realization. You can see this. But those who are not practicing, and if you don't practice anything, it's like that, isn't it? If you want to learn mridanga, you have to practice. Then you become expert, isn't it? You'll be situated, you'll become skillful in that art. Like that. Anything where you invest your time and energy, then you'll become good at that. So if we are practicing transcendental lifestyle, then yes, we will come closer to being situated in self-realization. But if we are not practicing, we won't be situated. That means our consciousness is not developed. Then can we see how I'm not this body? We cannot see. We cannot see. We have only one tool in our hand. What is that? Bhakti. Those who practice bhakti more with faith, they will progress. Proportionately, you will see a difference, development in consciousness. Those who are not practicing, there won't be development in consciousness. Then they won't be able to perceive things like this. The endeavoring transcendentalists is said, plural, who are situated in self-realization can see all this clearly. But those whose minds are not developed and who are not situated in self-realization cannot see what is taking place, though they may try. Even if they try, they cannot, because they don't have those tools. They're not developed. Consciousness is not developed. So they cannot see. Purport. There are many transcendentalists on the path of spiritual self-realization, but one who is not situated in self-realization cannot see how things are changing in the body of the living entity. How things are changing in the body of the living entity. This cannot be seen by those who are not situated in self-realization. The word yoginaha is significant in this connection. In the present day, there are many so-called yogis, and there are many so-called associations of yogis, but they are actually blind in the matter of self-realization. Yes. So all these yoga classes and so on. Yoga means for concentration, for peace, or so that you can sleep well at night, stress relief, lose weight, so on and so forth. You think they can understand how the living entity, what's happening to the, how the living entity is situated in the body and how the living entity is leaving the body? No. They are actually blind in the matter of self-realization. That's what Srila Prabhupada is saying. In the present day, there are many so-called yogis and there are many so-called associations of yogis, but they're actually blind in the matter of self-realization. They're simply addicted to some sort of gymnastic exercise. Yes. And are satisfied if the body is well built and healthy. That's all. Really, when you say yoga, that means for good health. Of course, it's okay. Mode of goodness, fine. Right? Eat vegetarian food and vegan and all that. Okay. But that doesn't mean that you'll become self-realized by that. They have no other information, right? All they get is they're satisfied if the body is well built and healthy. They have no other information. They are called yatanto pyakrit atmanaha. That means even if they endeavor, they cannot be self-realized. Even though they are endeavoring in a so-called yoga system, they are not self-realized. Such people cannot understand the process of transmigration of the soul. Only those who are actually in the yoga system. Yoga system means Jnana Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, and if you're not qualified for either of them, then Karma Yoga. That's all. This is yoga. There's only 3 yogas that Krishna gave. Jnana Yoga, Bhakti Yoga. Jnana Yoga means where the goal is Brahma Prapti. Bhakti Yoga means where the goal is Savishesha Paratattvam, either Paramatma or Bhagavan. And if you don't have qualification to do either of those, everyone is qualified for karma yoga. Karma yoga. That's all. So such people cannot understand the process of the transmigration of the soul. Only those who are actually in the yoga system and have realized the self. So by that you will realize the self, the world and the Supreme Lord. In other words, the Bhakti Yogis, those engaged in pure devotional service in Krishna consciousness, can understand how things are taking place. So who can understand? Only the devotees can understand. Nobody else can understand. Pure devotees can understand. Of course, we have the Jnanis also. As far as self-realization, yes, Jnanis and Ashtanga Yogis, whose actual goal is realizing the absolute truth, not just physical, health and all that. They won't realize. So by that also they can realize that they are not this body. Whoever is situated in Atma, that means one who does Nishkama Karma Yoga, succeeds in Nishkama Karma Yoga, he can realize I am not this body, I am soul. And also one who practices Bhakti Yoga, and then that means when you get Dhrida Shraddha, Sarvapadi Vinirmuktam, you become free from all designations. That means you're situated in your constitutional position. The difference between Bhakti Yoga and Jnana Yoga, Nishkama Karma Yoga, is in Bhakti Yoga, you are not simply realizing I'm not this body, I'm spirit soul. Rather, I'm not this body, I'm a servant of Krishna. Jivera Swarupa hoy Krishnera Nityadas. That is the realization. Whereas by doing Nishkama Karma Yoga, you simply realize I'm not this body, I'm soul. But in Bhakti Yoga, I'm not this body, I am a servant of Krishna. I'm not a wife, I'm not a mother, I'm not a daughter, I'm not Indian, I'm not American, I'm not this or that. I'm simply a servant of Krishna. Like that. So they can see this very clearly, that this body, mind, intelligence, this is all drama. I'm different from all these things. I'm not this. This can be seen if you actually practice that yoga sincerely. But it's not easy to see that I am Jivatma and I'm different from, this body, from these thoughts, feelings, right? I'm different. It's not so easy. We don't even understand by hearing, right? We are hearing and we don't even understand. It appears like we understood, but still we have no realization, isn't it? That realization that I am not this body, that comes by practicing, by doing sadhana. That realization will come by doing sadhana bhakti. In the case of Bhakti Yogis. And in the case of Nishkama Karma Yoga, by doing Nishkama Karma Yoga, one will get that realization. I'm not this body, I'm soul. In the case of Jnanis and Ashtanga Yogis. In the case of Jnanis and Ashtanga Yogis, how will one realize I'm not this body, I'm soul? By doing Nishkama Karma Yoga. In case of Bhaktas, how they will realize I'm not this body, but I'm a servant of Krishna? When you get Dhrida Shraddha, right? And by practicing Bhakti, you'll realize. Now, how do you accept that I have not realized it? Right? That is also difficult. To accept that I'm not a pure devotee, that is also difficult. That you can accept by the mercy of sadhus, by the mercy of Sadguru, a bona fide spiritual master, a pure devotee. By that, you can accept that I have not realized it. Only by their mercy are we able to accept it, believe that which we are not able to experience directly. You understand? That which is inconceivable, you are able to accept it as a fact. How? It's not logical. It's not experienced. Still you are accepting it. For you to accept, you need mercy. When you have mercy, then you'll accept even the inconceivable. And it is this mercy which stops the flow of samsara, repeated birth and death. This mercy stops that. So every sadhaka needs such a spiritual master. Absolutely essential. Sadguru. Huh? So with our present mind and senses, can we experience that paratattvam? We cannot experience. The way to experience is, so one thing is to know it theoretically, and the other thing is to actually experience. Just like when you take, you know that laddu is sweet, so you know that. But when you actually taste it, then you are experiencing it. Or like that. You know laddu is yellow, but when you actually see it, that's it, that's experiencing it. Like that. So how do you experience Bhagavat Tattvam, either as Paramatma, Brahman, or Bhagavan? How do you experience Bhagavat Tattvam with our material mind and material intelligence? We can get faith in that object which is beyond the reach of our present mind and intelligence. That means we can get faith in that which is beyond the reach of our present mind and intelligence only when we receive the mercy of a devotee who has experienced that object directly. I have not experienced it. Still, I have faith in that. How I'm getting that faith? Because I received the mercy of a person who has experienced it. That's when I can accept it. So mercy is very important. So the first investment is made by sadhu in the form of his mercy. We are beggars. We don't have anything. And one person invested 1 million, or let's say 10 lakhs of rupees. Using that investment, that capital, you start a business, and then either you succeed or you fail, right? It depends on how you work. But you need that initial capital. Somebody has to invest that in you. Who is that person who is investing? That's the sadhu. The very first investment for us to begin our journey of bhakti, that investment is coming from a sadhu. And then using that, we progress further. Now, after getting that, if we are not using it, then who can change your fate? Then we'll continue from one body to another body, just like changing apartments from one home to another. Even after receiving that mercy, if we are not using that mercy, taking bhakti seriously, and still if we are meddling with, I don't know why all of a sudden I remembered, Srila Prabhupada told Gandhiji that give up politics, right? You preach so much about Bhagavad Gita. Now you preach to people, you don't meddle with politics anymore. But he didn't. And what happened? Srila Prabhupada even warned him that you may get killed if you continue. Like, I think something like you can get untimely death if you continue like this. He didn't give up. And what happened? Time and tide wait for no one. So sadhus give mercy either through instruction, through warning, in so many ways. But then it is in our hands whether we accept it or not, where we take that, right? How we use that instruction. Maybe put it on the shelf and don't look at it. Then who can save us, isn't it? Mercy is given. And then how we use it. Krishna was sitting on Arjun's chariot. But Krishna didn't say, Arjun, you sit down, I'll fight for you. This is my mercy. I will win the battle for you. No. Krishna said, you fight. Krishna is there personally, but still, Arjun had to fight. So our endeavor has to be there. We have to endeavor. And then there's reciprocation. The way we endeavor, according to that, there is reciprocation. Help will come certainly, because Krishna is very kind. We hear again and again, he is extremely kind. If we take one step, he takes 10 steps, 100 steps, unlimited steps. So, yeah, just finished, almost finished. So, that investment has been made already in us. Sadhus have given us mercy. But if we don't use it properly, then we'll have to keep changing bodies. Like that. Ashuddha chittaha means, we said that means his mind is not developed, Srila Prabhupada said. That means he is not able to know the constitutional position of the living entity. Ashuddha chitta. His consciousness is not developed. He is not able to understand that I am a spirit soul. And what to speak of, I am meant to serve the Supreme Lord. He is not able to understand. Like that. Okay, so we will end here. Thank you so much. So text 11 we completed. Tomorrow will be text 12. And we'll continue Bhagavatam also. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai. Srila Prabhupada
की जय।
Bhaveta Gaur
वृंद की जय।
Vancha Kalpataru
वाञ्छकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। थैंक यू माता।